Hello and welcome back to Bookish. Today I want to do my September TBR. It's a pretty short TBR because I'm also doing reading some of the plays for Shaketube this month in September. So I'm going to go over the books that I'm going to read for sure in the month of September, and then go over my plans for Shaketube. And then, you know, it's possible if I finish these books that I've started or that I plan to read in September, soon enough I may add something else. But right now, this is my fairly limited TBR for September. So the first book that I've already started reading, cheating I know, but remember I'm a slow reader. Or maybe, actually I heard someone say, I guess it was Steve Donahue, say I'm a ruminative reader. Or maybe somebody wrote about it being a ruminative reader. I kind of like that better than a slow reader. But the first book I'm reading is Praise of Folly by Erasmus. Now in all honesty, my choice of reading Erasmus was inspired by Steve Donahue's Penguin Bookshelf Basement Tour. Really found that fascinating, and you know, I like Steve Donahue's channel, and I like to watch his videos. I like to leave comments on there and see what he says back. I don't always agree, but if we always agreed, what fun would that be? But I really found his enthusiasm for Penguin classics to be really infectious, and so I got Praise of Folly by Erasmus, and I've already started reading it, and it's delightful. I'm really enjoying it. I'll probably make a short video, I hope, about Praise of Folly later. By the way, my son, who is in college, goes to a liberal arts school, and so he's got all kinds of Penguin classics that he's left behind in his room, which I look forward to getting to some of those as well. I'm really kind of fired up about the Penguin classics. But anyway, I started Erasmus. That's my first read this month. I'm also was in the mood for some nonfiction, and I was really disappointed in myself. I didn't have a lot of good nonfiction or nonfiction I wanted to read on my shelves, but I did find this book, which I've had for some time, called Ingenious Pursuits by Lisa Jardine, and it's about building the scientific revolution. And a few years ago, I went on a kick where I read books about. I read a lot of books about science. And I kind of got into reading science, and then I got into reading history of science type books, and I enjoyed those. And so I found this book on my shelf, and I was really kind of excited to have what I hope is a good nonfiction read or a good history read. I have to be honest with you, as kind of a history person, I find that history books or bad works of history are the ones I'm most likely to DNF. Sometimes it can just be a small thing or what I consider to be a mistake by the historian, and it just really puts me off, and I stop reading. I have a biography of Columbus. Excuse me, I have a biography of Marco Polo. I also have a biography of Columbus that had the same impact, but I have a biography of Marco Polo, which I got to about page 60, and the historian made some assertion, which there's no possible way he can back up, but claimed he could back it up, and I thought, well, that's it for me here. So we'll see. I am interested and kind of looking forward to getting to Ingenious Pursuits, this building the scientific revolution history. Fiction-wise, I am going to read Warlight by Michael Ondaatje. This actually has nothing to do with the fact that it's been shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize. I am one of those people who will tell you that I'm an unabashed fan of Michael Ondaatje. Yes, he can be overly arty, but sometimes I like that, and so I'm kind of looking forward to getting to Warlight. And then I'm going to read a book that was on my People of Color-a-thon reading list that I didn't get to, and I read Go Tell It on the Mountain instead, and I'm going to read Paradise by Toni Morrison this month. This will probably be the last book I read this month, because I want to have Go Tell It on the Mountain a little more out of my brain before I start reading Toni Morrison. And if you watch my review of Go Tell It on the Mountain, you know that book had a really powerful effect on me. In addition to that, I was digging back through the recesses of one of my bookshelves, looking for the fantasy books that I loved so much as a kid. And I'm going to make a book love video about those. And back in the deep dark corners of one of the shelves that's, you know, on the end and my desk kind of covers, I found these really tiny Penguin 60s. I think these came out for the 60th anniversary of Penguin, and they put out these little books, and it reminded me of those kind of that whole set of small Penguin classics that a lot of people on BookTube are reading now. And I thought, wow, I kind of have like an older version of that, I guess. So there are 3 of those I found back there, and I don't think I've read any of the 3. So there's The Black Monk by Anton Chekhov. I enjoy Chekhov from time to time, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. There's Dorothy Parker, Big Blonde and Other Stories. I think Big Blonde is usually recognized as her best story, so you know, haven't read a lot of Dorothy Parker, so looking forward to that. And then there's Graham Greene, Under the Garden, which I have no idea about at all. I've only ever read one Graham Greene novel, and that was The Quiet American is the only Graham Greene I've read, so I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to, you know, get those books read for sure as a part of my TBR. As I said, I'm also doing Shaketube, and I am reading right now. I've already started reading Henry IV, Part 1 and 2, which I'm doing so I can participate in Lukash's discussion at Totally Pretentious. I'm going to read Henry V because it just seems to make sense. I'm reading Henry IV. I'm going to read Henry V to participate in Steve Donahue's Shaketube discussion. And I'm going to read The Tempest so I can participate in Jason's Shaketube discussion, Jason over at Old Blues chapter and verse. So that seems like a pretty ambitious reading agenda for a ruminative reader. It's a hard word for me to say. But that's what I'm planning to read in the month of September. And if I get done fast enough, I may add another book in there and let you know. So some of these books I'll be reviewing, and some of them I might just talk about in a non-review way. But anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I'm planning on reading, or if you have any comments about my video or anything else. Thanks for watching.